While lifting my head off the ground, my face gets slammed right back into it. This dude is gonna be in so much pain. But almost immediately after, my back is met with a soft, pleasant sensation, which kind of eases the pain. Yeah, I was just kidding about the tits first, but it really, and of course, we all know it. We all know this game by now. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Moe Ninja Girls. So we're finally back with this one. I know it's taken me a while. It's been taking a lot longer to play through this game now, just because, like I said before, now that they're not doing regular events anymore, earning a lot more, like earning more stuff in the game takes longer. Like things you need to progress takes longer. Like it's mostly I think the ninja fights, because the ninja fights I'm having a hard time playing through, just because I'm not getting as much power recover as I used to. And also, I haven't really been spending jewels. When I'm doing like my solo playthroughs, I haven't really been doing any jewels. I haven't been spending any jewels. It's because I try to conserve those for when I do my actual playthroughs on video. So I've mostly been spending 90 for the premium stories. And saving up 90 takes forever. So, yeah, so this one took a while as well, but we're finally at the end, so this should be pretty good. But anyway, so with that being said, I played through season 17 in this one, and I went for the Rika route this time. It was between Akari and Rika. I chose Rika this time, because I think between the two of them, Akari was the last one I went for previously. So, but yeah. So, as per usual, if you guys haven't played up to this point in the game, then I encourage you guys to click off, as there will be some spoilers. But for the rest of us, let's jump into it. Okay. So, we come back from where we left off in Season 16, and the assassin that the MC unmasked is revealed to be Futaba. Now, he asks her why she's with them, but she doesn't give him an answer. She gets back into a fighting stance and proceeds to attack him again. Now, the other two assassins tell her to fall back, and the MC recognizes their voices too as Senna and Kirara. Now, Senna throws a smoke grenade and covers the area in a white mist. Now, he calls out to them once again, but once the smoke clears, they're gone. So it looks like they've given up for now. The MC still wants to go after them, but Lily encourages him to give up for now, because everyone still needs to recover from the effects of the ninjutsu. And they're also still shocked that Futaba was with them. And then Tengge tells them about who the Yatagaras are. And they're apparently a secret society of ninjas. Now, most of the ninja clans wouldn't know who they are. The reason Tengge knows about them is because she was given an assignment from the tycoon. Now, he wanted her to keep an eye on them. Only a select few from Obnubi knew about that mission. And the reason they were there at that lake was to find a sacred treasure. The treasure is actually a mirror, most likely the same one in the dream Tengge was having. Now, the mirror was created as a sort of counterpart to weapons like the Kambui and Izumo. And one half of the mirror is kept at Hotaru's shrine, and the other was at that lake. And Tengge says the one Hotaru's family keeps has been stolen already. Now, this surprises Hotaru, as she says it's still there. And then Tengge tells her that it's most likely a fake. And after thinking about it, Hotaru remembers the YTG8 girls acting strangely. One day, Futaba asked her if they could help out at the shrine. Now, she says she wanted to check on the mirror, which shocks Hotaru. She thought it was weird that she would bring that up all of a sudden. Now, Tengge tells them that now that they have that half, they came there to find the other half. And then Tengge managed to find it before them, and she hid it from them. The only thing is now she can't remember where. Now, the MC is a little confused as to why that particular memory still won't come back. Now, Lily says that she might have a good idea why. In Obnubi, they developed a drug to block memories. They made it to prevent information from getting leaked. So they had all Onubi ninjas keep it with them for missions. And she thinks that Tengge took it to keep the mirror's whereabouts from getting out. And Tengge says that right after that was the nine-tailed fox battle. Onubi came to get her and some of the fox's blood from the cave. And she was kept in an Onubi hospital when the Yatagaras found her. They took her back to their lab where she was subjected to cruel experiments. And she thought that she wasn't going to survive, but then she heard the voices of her friends. When she regained consciousness, she saw a woman in front of her. She couldn't see who she was because everything was bright. The woman told her that she wasn't her enemy and that she was going to get her to safety. And after that was when she was found by the MC. Now, since they don't have enough information, they can't waste time on that. Lily asks her if she might have hid the mirror back home or if she stayed in Hokkaido. And she says she wouldn't have had the time to go back, so it's most likely still in Hokkaido. And with that, the group decides to stay in Hokkaido to look for the mirror. And then Kikoko and Johnny appear here. And Kikoko tells them that there's an herb that can bring back lost memories. It grows around that area, so if they can find it, then that might be the way to restore Tenge's memories. Now that they have a plan, they think about where to start. As they're deliberating, the MC senses a presence behind him. It turns out to be a crow with 3 legs. He throws a shuriken at it and it turns into smoke. And it's one of the Yatagaras familiars, which was most likely listening to their conversation. They decide that it's too risky to stay there, so they make their way back to the mainland. Before they get a chance to leave, they notice a stray dog chasing some creature. The creature hides behind Rika to get away from the dog. And the dog snarls at Rika in an attempt to scare her, but she's not the least bit intimidated. She glares at the dog, which causes it to run off. The creature runs up on Rika's shoulder and thanks her for saving it. Now the group is shocked to hear the thing talk, and they have no idea what it is. The creature gets tense around everyone, but Rika assures it that they're all friends. Once the creature calms down, Lily asks it if it has a name. The creature addresses herself as Koropokor. When she says this, Lily is reminded of an old folk tale. There's a story of small fairies native to Hokkaido called Koropokor, and the MC asks what they should do about her. Now Lily doesn't want to take her away from her home, so she says they should probably leave her there. Now Koropokor wants to stay with them, but since they're looking for the herb, they can't bring her with them. When they mention the herb, Koropokor claims that she knows someone that knows where it is. If they take her with them, she can introduce them to this person. And with no other leads to go on, they agree to it. Now that one problem has been solved, the next thing to figure out is what to do about their class. Now Kikoko has a plan for that, so she has Yamabuki make a puppet to get to the airport. They get to the airport and start running to the gate. Enju apparently sprained her ankle at some point, so she can't run. They try their best, but they ultimately miss their flight. Now as it turns out, it was all an act to draw attention from people. Kikoko's plan was for them to fake a situation that caused them to miss their flight. Someone was bound to see their little show, so they'd have an excuse for later. Now Kikoko gives Kuzuryu a call to explain the situation. He understands and he says he'll prepare a way for them to get home when they're done. With that settled, they decide to get some food before leaving. Once they finish their food, they do a bit of sightseeing at all the shops. They notice a particular shop with a lot of interesting accessories. While there, Rika sees a necklace. Koropokor urges her to try it on. She does, and everyone says it looks good. Now she wants to buy it, but unfortunately it's too expensive. Seeing how disappointed she is, Koropokor says she has another one she could have. She pulls out a necklace and gives it to her. The MC asks about where the necklace comes from, but Koropokor says it's a secret. Hearing the word secret bothers him a little bit, but there's not much he can do about it. Rika tries on the necklace and then something happens. Her personality seems to shift, and she starts addressing herself as Mistress Swan. Now the MC is trying to snap her out of it, but it doesn't seem to be working. Rika stops for a moment to look at him, and then calls him Kamui Rakor. She leaps into his arms and says she loves him. She also refers to him as her dear husband. Now the MC is not sure what to think of this. She's grabbing onto him so tightly, so he asks Akari for help. Akari jumps in to try to pry the two of them apart, and Rika happens to notice the Izumo on Akari's chest, so she asks to see it. Akari shows her the Izumo. While it's nothing she hasn't seen before, Rika starts trembling as if she was scared. She claims that she's the one that stole the MC from her and that she needs to die. After she says this, Rika begins to cast her ice jutsu. With them being in a public place, things could get really messy. The MC tells her to quit with the act, but she says she's being serious. Kuropokor comes out and addresses her as princess and tells her that they're not her enemy. With that, Rika finally calms down. She tells them that she isn't Rika, but Mistress Swan. The MC says that if she isn't Rika, then what happened to her? She says she doesn't know and frankly doesn't care. She glares at Akari once again and asks what their relationship is. Akari doesn't know how to respond and her face turns red. Mistress Swan gets upset again and calls the MC a cheater. She threatens to freeze everyone and starts powering up her jutsu again. However, she can't seem to control it and collapses. When she wakes up, it appears to be Rika again. The MC tells her all the weird stuff she's been saying, but she doesn't remember any of it. In the middle of all the awkward tension, Kuropokor runs back into Rika's pocket. The MC gets mad at this point and starts asking Kuropokor what she knows. The rest of the group comes back from the store and asks what's going on. The MC tries to tell them what happened, but Kuropokor cuts him off. She tells them what she knows about the herb. Apparently, there's a village called Mibutani that grows it. With that being all the way in the mountains, there aren't many good options to get there. Enju suggests taking the bus, and Kuropokor says that's a good idea. The MC puts the discussion on hold, but he tells her that they will talk about it later. Yamabuki checks and it looks like the last bus already left. Lily suggests taking a taxi, but Kikoko tells them that would be way too expensive. Yamabuki offers to make another puppet, but Kikoko says that isn't exciting enough. The MC asks her what she wants to do then. A while later, we cut to the MC out on the road holding a sign. It looks like they're hitchhiking. Kikoko wants the girls to use their sex appeal to get someone to stop. Now Lily thinks the whole idea of this is stupid. They could already be on their way there if they just used one of Yamabuki's puppets. Yamabuki refuses as she wants to see their seductive poses too. With no other choice, the girls have to just grin and bear it. They all try their best, but they're just too embarrassed to fully commit. Tengge tells them that being sexy isn't just about showing skin. She steps forward and puts her thumb out. Almost immediately, she gets a truck driver to stop. She convinces the man to take them to Mibutani. By the time they get there, it's just about nighttime. They need to find a place to stay for the night. An old man approaches them and asks them what's wrong. They ask him if there's a hotel in the area. The only place he knows of is an hour outside of town. Since they don't get many tourists, they don't have the need for anything like that. Seeing their disappointment, he offers to let them stay at his place. When they get to his place, he shows them a room they could stay in. He leaves to go do something, so they settle in. Kikoko leaves to use the bathroom, but she hurries back in a panic. She says she heard the sound of someone sharpening a knife. Everyone starts freaking out, and they all convince the MC to check things out. He heads down the hall to the kitchen. He sees the man sharpening a knife and muttering to himself. The MC turns to leave, but one of the floorboards creaks. The man turns around to see him standing there. Since he saw what he was doing, he can't really hide it anymore. He asks him if everyone likes fish, and shows him a nice salmon he was preparing. He wanted it to be a surprise. The MC tells him everyone loves fish. The man tells him that dinner will be ready soon, and the MC heads back to the room. He tells everyone what happened, and they all feel bad. A while later, the man comes in with dinner. Everyone says it looks good, probably out of guilt. The man asks them if they can trust him now, because he heard what they were saying about serial killers and such. He kind of laughs it off, saying he can't blame them. Coming to a strange old man's house in the middle of the mountains sounds like it's out of a horror movie. He tells them he likes to research old myths and legends like that. Lately, he's been really interested in old folklore in Hokkaido specifically. Hearing this, they all ask him about the herb, and he knows what they're talking about. He tells them it's not a very interesting story, but they're insistent on finding it. He's curious as to why they want it, but none of them can give him an answer. That would mean telling him about ninjas and that they're all ninjas. In the middle of the silence, the man notices the kamui around the MC's waist. He asks if he could see it. The MC lets him look at it, and he takes notice of all the artistry on the hilt and sheath, and it makes him even more curious. He asks if he can unsheath it, and the MC allows him to. When he takes it out of the sheath, the craftsmanship of the blade and the details fascinates him, and he asks if that sword is the kamui. Now the MC is a little taken aback when he said that. He tells him that it is. He's wondering to himself how he knows about it when it should only be known to ninjas. He tells them that that sword has a legacy in that area. Long ago, the indigenous people of the area worshipped a lot of deities and fairies. One day, some warriors from another land came and waged a bloody battle with the people there. And things were really intense, but out of nowhere a man appeared. He took on all the warriors alone and won, and all he had was that sword. His name was Kamui Rakur. After the battle, the man disappeared and no one saw him again. Lily jumps in here a bit skeptical. She's not convinced that that story is true. While most of the details may have gotten misconstrued over the generations, the man believes there is some truth to it. Since the sword is there in front of him, at the very least Kamui Rakur was a real person. He believes the MC must be a descendant of his. They ask him why he left, but the man says no one knows for sure. It's possible he went to the mainland after the battle and settled down out there. He even left his fiancée behind too. Her name was Mistress Swan. Everyone gasps at the mention of that name. Yamabuki jokes that he kicked his fiancée to the curb and married another woman in the mainland. The man says if the MC is one of his descendants, then that's the most likely scenario. They ask him what happened to Mistress Swan after that, but her story unfortunately doesn't go beyond that. Then Rika says that she spent her days waiting for him to return. It appears that Mistress Swan came out again. She jumps on the MC again, going on about the stuff she had been before. She notices all the other girls again and calls him a cheater again. The man tells her to calm down and grabs her by the shoulder. She tells him not to touch her and ends up knocking him into the wall. The MC tries to get her to calm down and asks the others for help. Conveniently, Kuropokor wakes up from her nap. Mistress Swan greets her again, and Kuropokor says she's glad she's enjoying Rika's body. Once again, the MC gets irritated and demands an explanation for everything. Kuropokor confirms that the spirit possessing Rika's body is indeed Mistress Swan. Mistress Swan says that the MC is her husband. The MC tells her that he is not Kamui Rakur. Akari tries to tell her the same thing, and Mistress Swan glares at her. She says that the woman with the Izumo has come back to steal him again, and she won't let her have him. The others ask for some more backstory on what happened. She tells them that after the battle, he eloped with the woman with the Izumo. She was understandably devastated after that. The others keep trying to press for information, but Mistress Swan doesn't want to talk about that anymore. She says her and the MC must get married immediately. The MC asks Hotaru for help, but she's enjoying the show that she refuses. He demands for her to help, so she gives in. She asks him how Rika became like that in the first place. He tells her that back at the airport they went to a souvenir shop. They ended up not buying anything, but Kuropokor did give her a necklace. Once he says that, he figures it out. Kuropokor cowers out of guilt. The MC tells Mistress Swan to take the necklace off, but she refuses. After a brief back and forth, Rika's body collapses again. It appears Mistress Swan's spirit left again. This time, Enju demands an explanation. Kuropokor tells them that it takes a lot of power to put Mistress Swan's spirit into a human body. She can't inhabit Rika's body for long, but after a few dozen tries, then she'll be in Rika's body permanently. And the group doesn't want that to happen. When Rika comes to, the MC explains to her what happened. She's shocked that she got possessed again. Nanolo says that now she's back to normal, can they remove the necklace now? Rika attempts to take it off, but it won't come off. Kuropokor tells her that since Mistress Swan's spirit is in the necklace, she has to be the one to take it off. Since Mistress Swan believes the MC to be her husband, it seems he has to be the one to convince her. The next morning, they leave the man's home. Alright, sorry guys, I had to make a cut in the video here. I was getting some details wrong, so I'm gonna have to start over again from here. Okay, so Mr. Swan believes the MC to be her husband, so he has to be the one to convince her to take the necklace off. Okay. Yeah. And then the next morning they leave the man's home. The MC stays back to say goodbye. The man gives him a map of the mountains, and there's an area circled in red, which the man believes to be where the herb grows. He tells them that it's very easy to get lost out there, so they should be careful. The MC thanks him and leaves. Outside, there's a crow watching over them, and it's one of the Yatagara's familiars, so it looks like they won't be far behind. They make their way to the area on the map using one of Yamabuki's puppets, because they didn't want to try and hitchhike this time. Yamabuki points to an area up ahead, asking if that's the place. The MC says it should be and to get ready to land. As they're preparing to land, the MC gets a phone call. The call ends up being from Johnny. He tells them that something happened while they've been gone. The MC tries to ask about what happened when Yamabuki calls out to him. She points to a bunch of crows ahead. It looks like they're all the Yatagara's familiars. They can't turn around fast enough, so they crash into the crows. Some of the crows got into Yamabuki's clothes, which causes her to lose control of the puppet, and they start plummeting to the ground. When the MC comes to, he sees they've made it to the ground. He feels around, but he doesn't feel any dirt. It looks like the puppet is still floating above the ground. Yamabuki wakes up and says she made it in time. She switched on the autopilot and it made an emergency landing. However, they landed away from where they were heading. Lily looks at the map and says their destination shouldn't be too far. It looks like they're going to have to walk from there. After a little while, they make their way to a clearing. The MC says that they've made it. As they look around, all the grass and herbs are gone. With how clean everything looks, there is no way it was a wild animal. Lily suspects the Yatagara's beat them there. After she says this, they hear Tengge scream behind them. They turn around to see Futaba, Senna, and Kirara keeping her restrained. Futaba tells them that they're going to take her back to their hideout. If they attempt to follow them, then they will kill Tengge. A bunch of Yatagara's assassins surround them all and get into a fighting stance. However, Rika is furious at this point. She calls upon her ice powers and creates a massive blizzard. It's her special move, which is more powerful than before. She ends up turning the area around them into a frozen wasteland. As the MC is watching this in amazement, he slowly begins to lose consciousness. Futaba, funnily enough, is trying to reason with her. She asks her if she cares what happens to Tengge. Rika tells her that if she's going to kill Tengge, then to do it, otherwise she'll freeze the both of them. And this really shocks Futaba. Now the MC is trying to get Rika to stop, but she won't listen. Realizing that she'll kill all of them, the main Yatagara's assassin tells them to retreat and leave Tengge. Futaba lets go of Tengge and they all disappear into the shadows. The MC threatens the main assassin to hand over the herbs. He swings at him with the kamui, but he ends up missing. He looks around to see if any of the other assassins that Rika knocked out are still there, but they're gone too. Now that the assassins left, Rika stumbles with her hand on her head. The MC catches her as she collapses. He asks her where that power came from, but she doesn't know. It was as if another spirit took over her body. Kuropokor pokes her head out and says that was Mistress Swan's power. Since Rika was able to channel her powers, that means her body is slowly absorbing Mistress Swan's spirit. However, this isn't their biggest problem right now. Now that the herb is gone, they lost their only lead. Kuropokor tells them that she knows another place that it grows, but she wants a favor in return. She wants the MC to marry Mistress Swan once she takes over Rika's body. As it is, the mistress doesn't have much to keep her in the human world. If they pass off the MC as Kamui Rakur, she'll be able to transition into the human world much easier. The MC tries to tell Kuropokor that he's not him, and she'll figure that out eventually. Rika then asks if the mistress takes over her body, then what happens to her? She tells her that she'll fall into a deep sleep and never wake up. Kikoko jumps in and tells her that she'll let her have the two of them, and she wants to negotiate terms. And this outrages the MC. He gets ready to hash out his grievances, but Lily stops him. She tells him that she believes Kikoko has a plan, so they should trust her. Enju has Rika restrained as well, so she can't fight back either. Kuropokor wants to prepare the wedding, but Kikoko wants the location of the herbs first. She doesn't want to make all these arrangements just to have it be stolen again. Kuropokor tells her that it's at the base of Mount Kamui. When she says this, Lily loosens her hold on the MC. It's as if she knows the place. Yamabuki tells her that she'll make another puppet and has her point out the location on the map. Now that the MC isn't restrained anymore, he confronts Kikoko and asks her why she sold them out. This time, Enju tells them that she believes she has a plan. She turns to Kikoko for reassurance. Kikoko fumbles through her words trying to reassure them, which gives the MC a bad feeling. Yamabuki summons her puppet and punches in the coordinates, and they all head for Mount Kamui. Kuropokor is helping to navigate. The MC looks over at Kikoko and asks her again if she has some kind of plan. She's still being a little nonchalant about the whole thing, which annoys the MC again. Rika asks him what can they do now. They both talk about ditching Kuropokor and making a run for it after they get the herb. Kikoko butts in and tells them they can't do that. With Mistress Swan's spirit still in the necklace, there's no running away until they figure out what to do about her. After a while, they arrive at Mount Kamui. Kuropokor points them to a cave. They see a bunch of plants and she tells them that that's it. The MC plucks one of them, which just looks like a weed. He asks how they use it, and Kuropokor says they can make it like a tea. Sai tells them that she has a function where she can extract medicinal and chemical properties from any substance, so she can make the medicine. They're a little concerned why Xena would need something like that, but Lily says it's worth a shot. The MC gives the plant to Sai, and then she eats it. The MC asks how Tengge is supposed to take the medicine, and Sai just points to her mouth. Tengge understands what she means. She walks up to Sai, and the two of them share a kiss. After they finish, Lily asks Tengge how she feels. She jokes that it was a little bitter for her first kiss, which annoys Lily. As we all know, Lily was technically her first kiss, so it was interesting. After a moment, Tengge grabs her head and leans against the wall. Kikoko asks her if she remembered anything. She hid the mirror in a place called Hakodate, more specifically Goryokaku. Now this was interesting. This is something I've never done in this series before, but I actually decided to look up these historical landmarks. So I looked up what Goryokaku was. Just out of curiosity, I'm like, that sounds kind of interesting. So, Goryokaku was a fortress that was built in the shape of a star, and its purpose was to protect against Russian naval fleets. Yeah, it was built back in the 1860s, I believe, if I remember correctly. And it was designed as a star to reduce the number of blind spots where a cannon couldn't fire, which is kind of clever if you think about it. Now, this was where the Boshin War ended and the Tokugawa shogunate was overthrown, marking the end of feudal Japan. So this was essentially the end of the shogun that took place here. Now, there was another government that took control known as the Meiji government. And they took control after the shogunate fell. And then they became one of the first political parties for the Empire of Japan. Since feudal Japan ended, they they changed it to the Empire of Japan. And then the Meiji regime lasted until the end of World War II when they surrendered. And the Empire of Japan was dissolved under the 1947 Constitution, and Japan became a pacifist country after that. And the Japanese government was simply just the state of Japan after that, which is how we know the country today. Now, today, Goryokaku is a park that was turned into a historical landmark, and it's a popular spot for cherry blossom viewing. So yeah, it sounds kind of cool. I just thought that was interesting. I just because I they talk about all these historical landmarks in the game, so I thought, maybe this time around I'll look it up and see. And yeah, that sounds pretty cool. But yeah, so the gang, they were all shocked that Tengge chose there of all places to hide the mirror. I think what made me want to look this up is because they kind of went into some historical details in game, which I think is something they never really did. So I thought I'd read up on it a little bit more. And yeah, it's kind of cool. So anyway, but yeah, so after Tenge hid the mirror, she went back to school like nothing happened. And then she passes out again. Now, Hakodate is pretty far from where they are, so getting there won't be easy. Kuropokor comes out and says that she kept her end of the deal, and now they need to keep their promise. The MC and Rika have to get married now. The two of them don't know what to say, but everyone else voices their concerns. Kikoko tells them all to relax. A promise is a promise, and there's no taking it back now. She offers to wed the two of them, and they'll have the ceremony in one of the mountain huts. And so we cut to them in the hut. Kikoko laid out a futon for them on the floor. The MC is still trying to argue his way out of it. She tells him that only cowards back out now. Rika jumps in and tries to ask about how she feels, but before she can get the words out, her body goes limp. When she wakes up, it's Mistress Swan once again. She's eager to get the ceremony started. Before they begin, Kikoko gives her a kimono to change into. She changes into the kimono, and then Kikoko gives them a ceremonial drink. Mistress Swan drinks hers, and then the MC drinks his. After a moment, the MC realizes that all he had was water. Mistress Swan, on the other hand, starts making incoherent sounds. She throws herself onto the MC before she ends up falling asleep. Kikoko tells him that she put a sleeping potion in her drink. With her unconscious, they can take the necklace off now. The MC goes to take it off, but Kuropokor stops him. She pleads with him not to do it. Kikoko picks her up to hold her back. The MC says sorry and takes the necklace off. After a while, the others come into the room. They're all upset thinking that the MC actually went through with it. What they see is Rika unconscious on the floor and Kuropokor sitting next to her crying. Kikoko tells them that it was all a ploy to get Mistress Swan to let down her guard. That way they could take the necklace off. Rika wakes up and sees what she's wearing. She panics for a moment and asks what happened. The MC shows the necklace in his hand and that Mistress Swan is gone. Rika is relieved when she notices Kuropokor next to her. Rika faces her and tells her she can't be her master. They're only there to find the mirror and go home. The next day, the gang gets ready to head for Hakodate. They all get on the carpet that Yamabuki made, but Kuropokor doesn't get on. Since she failed to resurrect Mistress Swan, she has no reason to stay with them anymore. Rika tries to say something to her, but she just looks down in silence. With nothing left to say, Rika tells Yamabuki to take off. As they're flying away, Rika tells Kuropokor to watch out for dogs. It ends up being nighttime by the time they make it to Goryokaku. Lily is a little unnerved by how dark it is. It's the perfect environment for shadow jutsu. The Yatagaras could be watching them, waiting for a moment to strike. As they're walking through the park, Tenge points them to a big tree. She tells them that's where the mirror is buried. With that, Yamabuki hands the MC a shovel and he begins digging. After a moment, he strikes something in the dirt. He digs around and finds a box. Inside, he finds a small disc, and he can see his reflection on one side. He hands it to Tengge, and she confirms that that's what they were looking for. They're all happy while at the same time a little underwhelmed. It doesn't look like much, so they find it hard to believe that it's a sacred treasure. Akari wants to just break it, but Lily says considering the powers it may possess, that could be a bad idea. It's best if they hold on to it for now. The MC offers to keep it on him. Tengge hands him the mirror. He sees his reflection, which causes him to freak out. He's never seen such an evil look on his face before. When he looks at it again, his face is normal. Once he calms down, they all notice something in the sky. A swarm of crows begin to block out the moonlight. The Yatagarasu assassins emerge from the shadows along with the YTG8 girls. The head assassin comes forward and tells them he's been playing them all along. The MC is not impressed, so he just proceeds to antagonize him. With minimal effort, the leader gets upset. He tells him to hand over the mirror. The group is all in agreement that they won't be doing that. Since they couldn't come to an understanding, the Yatagarasu begin to attack. The MC tells everyone to stick together. Tengge gives the mirror to Miyu to hold on to. Yamabuki creates a wall to surround everyone, and this leaves the MC open to focus on the leader. Shadow Jutsu might be strong, but it does still have a weakness. All he has to do is find the light source and he can destroy the shadows. He teams up with Akari to combine both the Izumo and Kamui's powers together. They generate a sort of light whip. The whip knocks back the YTG8 girls. The leader attempts to run away, but they use the whip to tie him up. It doesn't last too long, though, as the whip begins to fade. While he's distracted, the YTG8 girls begin to strike. Rika runs in front of them and creates a wall of ice to stop their attacks. Not long after, the light whip breaks. With the leader freed, he tells them that he knows their weakness now. If he steals the Izumo, then it would be harder to stop all of them. During his boasting, the MC notices that only 2 of the YTG8 girls are with him. He looks over at Akari and sees Kirara leaping out of her shadow. She knocks the Izumo out of Akari's hand. The MC tells her to pick it up, but the leader has something planned. He creates these sort of shadow whips and uses those to restrain everyone. He managed to use their jutsu against them. He uses the whips to destroy Yamabuki's barrier and ties them up too. Once they can't move, he uses his sword to send a whip at Miyu. He manages to get the mirror from her. With one half of the mirror, he asks Senna for the other half. Hotaru sees that she really does have the other half, so she vigorously tries to get out of her restraints. They tell her to stop struggling, and she eventually gives up. Now that they have both halves of the mirror, Rika asks them what their plan is now. The leader says that since they're in Goryokaku, that's the perfect place to have the ritual. He tells the others to start making the preparations. After he tells them their plans, Rika notices something. She feels something crawling up her leg. It turns out to be Koropokor. She managed to track them all the way there. She's still holding on to the necklace. She tells Rika that if she puts the necklace on, then Mistress Swan can save all of them. But that would mean giving up her body again. Now the MC offers to give up his body instead, but she tells him that spiritually she's more compatible with Rika. Rika tells him she'll be fine, and she agrees to put the necklace on again. They have to hurry before the Yatagarasu notice what's going on. The leader turns around and sees something moving. Rika tells Koropokor to run, so she didn't finish putting on the necklace. Koropokor runs around the leader's feet to keep him distracted. Kikoko tells the MC to figure out a way to finish putting on the necklace. He manages to wiggle his way over to Rika. With his hands tied, he has no choice but to use his mouth. Eventually, Futaba manages to catch Koropokor. The MC isn't sure if he was able to get the necklace on in time. She hands her over to the leader, and he asks Rika if it's some kind of familiar. Rika tells him to let her go, but he says he'll crush her instead. He holds her in his hand and slowly begins squeezing. As she's being suffocated, Kuropokor manages to say the words to summon the princess. Before she was caught, Kuropokor told them that when she says the words, they should close their eyes. Remembering this, they all close their eyes. A bright light shines over the area, which blinds the Yatagarasu for a moment. The light was enough for Kuropokor to escape. She finishes putting on the necklace and calls for Mistress Swan to appear. The MC hears Rika shout a strange insult, which means Mistress Swan has returned. She sees the tentacles around her, so she manages to freeze them. The tentacles shatter, which shocks the leader. She's not impressed by their jutsu, so she threatens to kill them. She uses the water vapor in the air to create a massive ice sword. The jutsu she uses is very similar to what Rika uses, but her abilities far exceed what Rika is capable of. She swings the sword at the leader, but he dodges it. The sword hits the ground, creating a huge shockwave. You would think the sword would be extremely heavy, but she's holding it and swinging it with ease. Oh, I think I skipped a line here. Yeah, so Mistress Swan, she used the water vapor in the air to create a massive ice sword. And it's a lot like what Rika does, but her abilities far exceed what Rika can do. Yeah. Yeah, I think I forgot to read that line there. Okay, so she swings a sword at the leader, he dodges it. The sword hits the ground, creating a huge shockwave. And to any regular ninja, like that sword would still be pretty heavy, but she's holding it and swinging it with ease. For a moment, the MC is amazed at how powerful she is. She hears him say her name, and she turns to him with an ice-cold stare. And all he can do is look away as if out of shame. She smiles and says that's not how her future husband should act. She offers to give him some of her power, but in return she still wants to get married. The MC can't give a response to her declaration, which disappoints her. She accepts it anyway and turns to face the leader again. She challenges him once again, and he summons another shadow tentacle. It's much bigger than the ones before, and it's sharp at the end like a spear. Mistress Swan knows that Rika's body wouldn't be able to survive being hit by that. She attempts to fall back, but the other assassins surround her. Knowing she's outnumbered, the NSC jumps in and begin attacking the assassins all at once. The MC tells her that they'll handle the little guys and she should just focus on the leader. Mistress Swan agrees and turns her attention back to the leader once again. The leader begins to summon more tentacles and combines them all into one giant sword. Mistress Swan tells him that jutsu that powerful is useless if the wielder is weak. She begins to summon more ice and makes her weapon more powerful as well. The leader swings his weapon, but Mistress Swan stands there smiling. She swings her weapon as well, which causes a devastating blow to the area. When the light fades, the leader is on his knees in the middle of a giant crater. Mistress Swan walks up to him. She taunts him one last time before swinging her sword at his chest. It seems like the battle is over, but Futaba jumps in and blocks her attack. Annoyed, Mistress Swan creates another ice sword in her other hand and swings at Futaba. This time Kirara jumps in and blocks her other attack. With her guard down, Senna emerges from her shadow and stabs her in the chest. The MC looks over and catches a glimpse of this. He's shocked, but he can't do much since they're having their own battle. Mistress Swan smiles and tells them that she's covered her body in ice. She shows her chest and there's not a single scratch. She knocks back all the YGG8 girls. She's impressed by their efforts, but she tells them that they can't win. She gets back into fighting stance again, but then something happens. The necklace starts glowing violently and she starts losing her power. It would appear Senna's strike damaged the necklace. Kuropokor tells her to protect the necklace. Senna now understands what's going on, so she tells Futaba and Kirara to execute their ultimate move. The MC attempts to run over to help, but one of the assassins blocks his way. The YTG8 girls summon a giant spear and aim it straight for Mistress Swan's necklace. Senna and Kurara launch Futaba through the air while she holds the spear. Mistress Swan creates an ice wall to stop the spear's attack. She's using most of her strength to keep the wall intact, but the spear is melting through it too fast. It won't be long before Futaba breaks through it. The MC finds an opening and he tells her he's on his way. He gets past one of the assassins, but more just keep appearing in front of him. He tells her to hold on just a bit longer. Mistress Swan gets annoyed by his mixed signals, but she's happy with how hard he's trying. That gives her more motivation to keep fighting. She uses whatever strength she has left to go on the offensive. She shatters the ice wall, creating a thick mist. Futaba can't see where she's at, but she knows exactly where Futaba is. Mistress Swan appears right behind Futaba. She goes in for the strike when the leader yells for her to stop. He summons some more shadows to absorb the mist. Once the mist clears, he tells them to drop their weapons. He reveals that he's holding Kuropoko in his hand. If they don't drop their weapons, he'll kill her. Reluctantly, they all drop their weapons. The leader summons more tentacles to tie them all up once again. With them completely restrained, the MC yells for him to let Kuropoko go. The leader agrees and drops her on the ground. Kuropoko can't manage to stand up and just rolls on her side. With no one to stop them now, the leader proceeds with the ritual. He aims one half of the mirror to the sky. When he does this, it starts emanating a dark aura. The other half begins to emanate a bright light. He faces both halves at each other, and when the reflections collide, it creates a massive cyclone. The MC asks what's going on. The leader tells him the mirror is creating an opening to an alternate dimension of sorts. With this portal, they can interact with other worlds. The portal keeps getting bigger, and eventually it starts emitting an even brighter light. Everyone is confused on what's happening. It's so bright they can barely keep their eyes open. In the light, the MC can see what appears to be a person emerging from the portal. And that is that. This is where we left off. So, we're going to find out how they're going to get out of this one. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I wonder what's going to happen with Mr. Swan by the end of this. Because right now it seems like she's kind of their best bet to defeating them. But, yeah, I guess we're going to find out who this mysterious person came out from the portal was. So, yeah, let's get into it. Alright, here we are. So, Season 17, Chapter 10, An End to the Journey. So, let's find out how they get out of this. Here we go. Alright. So, clearly it looks like a woman. I remember seeing the silhouette in the previous one. So, we're going to find out probably who this is, I think. Maybe. Alright. A visitor appears from the dimensional vortex and slowly approaches me. Well, that's interesting. But the backlight from the mirror is making it hard to see. Their silhouette hazily surfaces from within the light. The only thing that's evident is that it's a woman's body. Yep, okay. Okay, so this guy, what voice did I give him before? I think it was something like this. Yeah, probably something like that. What is this light? I can hear the Yatagarasu assassin's startled voice nearby. I guess that means she's not with the Yatagarasu. Then, just who is this woman? It's just too bright. I can't see her face. Who are you? As the woman standing in the light holds out her hand, a whirlpool instantly appears in the palm of her hand. At first, it is nothing more than a small whirlpool of energy, but it gradually grows, drawing in the air around it, until the dense cyclone of energy creates a giant wind bomb. Interesting. Everyone get ready! I forgot my Tengge voice. Huh? There's no way to block that power once it's released. We have to... Shadows, heed my call. The man sends his shadow tentacles to attack the mysterious woman. His actions are almost instantaneous. The shadows devour the mirror's light, swallowing the area. Then the tentacles unmistakably wrap around the woman's body. But she appears to have taken no damage whatsoever, as if the energy gathering around her had slipped through the tentacles. What? While restrained, she takes the condensed ball of wind and aims it at the Yatagarasu assassin. Ooh. Then, at the very next second, she releases it. I hear her faintly say something as all color is erased from the world. The shadows trapping us shatter while blast wave ravages the area, even blowing away the eye-burning dimensional light. Glah! Directly hit by the blast, the man is thrown into the air like a scrap of paper during a typhoon. But it doesn't end there. The burst wave uncontrollably gushes out, engulfing the entire area in the blink of an eye. And we are caught in the blast as well. The blast wave is simply that big. A person would be blown away like garbage. Damn. Okay, this is kind of a shorter part, because the last one was longer. It's interesting to me. Okay. I get the floating sensation as if my feet weren't touching the ground. But it is not my imagination. My entire body is now gently floating in the air. Everyone, join hands! Huh? Okay. Mitsuge. Rika takes my right hand while Akari takes my left. It's Rika now, okay. Anju. Lily. Everyone takes the hand of the one closest to them as we fight against a strong gale. Rika grabs a thick cherry blossom branch howling in the violent storm. The fiendish whirlwind soon becomes a massive tornado, scarring the earth wherever it passes. It doesn't even have to directly hit to cause horrific damage. There was nothing the Yatagarasu assassin could do after getting caught in it. The man's body is sliced by vacuum blades as he is shot into the skies. Oh, rip, asshole. Little bitch! The other Yatagarasu assassins are swept up in the tornado as well. Rika struggles to hold onto the branch in the midst of the storm. But the violent gale is slowly tearing the cherry blossom out of the ground from its roots. Uh-oh. With a snap, the branch breaks. Immediately, my body is surrendered to the wind, and I am soaring in the sky. Mitsuge! Sorry. Don't let go of my hand! I reach out to wrap my arms around them to protect them. But the wind, as if it were pulling our limbs apart, pulls Akari's hand out of mine. Akari desperately tries to grab my hand, but the wind gradually blows her away. I feel as if I'm watching it all happen in slow motion. Akari! That's when... Mr. Swan. Cannot take my eyes off of you for a second. Huh? I hear a sweet voice speak to me by my side. Before I even realized it, cold air had already begun to expand around us. I'm thinking Mr. Swan's voice might be similar to my Kikoko voice. Cause considering how old she is, yeah. Cause I gave Kikoko kind of an old English voice, so maybe give her something Something similar, just more posh, I guess. Okay, so Mr. Swan came out to save the day again. Alright. Freeze. With awe-inspiring powers equivalent to the tornado, she creates a cage of ice which safely catches us before we're blown away. The cage is firmly rooted into the earth, so we won't have to worry about it being blown away. Rika wouldn't be able to use such exquisite, colossal ice jutsu like this, which means you are going to have to bear the cold, for this is the only thing I can do to help. Mr. Swan. At the very next moment, a brilliant white light stains the world before us. The wind finally comes to a stop. And with it, the ice cage that Mr. Swan created crumbles into dust. We drop straight to the surface. Ouch! Unable to roll in time, I land headfirst on the ground. Damn. He's landed headfirst. That's gonna be a concussion tomorrow. Gonna feel that one. Ouch! Damn it! Ah! Following, Akari lands on my back. Tits first? No, I'm kidding. Oof. While lifting my head off the ground, my face gets slammed right back into it. This dude is gonna be in so much pain. But almost immediately after, my back is met with a soft, pleasant sensation, which kind of eases the pain. Yeah. I was just kidding about the tits first, but it really, of course, we all know it. We all know this game by now. Ah, Mitsuge, I'm so sorry. No, it's fine. Well, look at you. Mr. Swan looks down at me with a smile. However, that smile is accompanied by a ghastly pale face. Oh, I think she's dying. Or her spirit's fading. It's no surprise the necklace is beaten and cracked after all. So I wonder, is her spirit passing on now? Oh shit. Mr. Swan! Why are you looking at me like that? Fall in love with me all over again? She mutters a confident remark while collapsing to the ground. Mr. Swan! Do not worry about me. More importantly, what happened to the enemy? I look around. Most of the Yatagara's assassins seem to have been blown out of the park. The only ones left are the 3 Y2G8 girls with minor wounds. Ugh. I hear a ridiculous groan coming from above, so I look up to find the man behind all this hanging from the cherry blossom. How is this guy alive? That is incredible. Oh yeah, where's the Yata no Yami Kagami? That's the mirror. I didn't include that in the notes because I didn't feel like typing that every single time. The Yata no Kagami and Yata no Yami Kagami still continue to emit light. The mysterious woman stands by their side. Okay, so are we still going to find out who the woman is? Tengge-san stares at her with creased eyes. Are you? But the mysterious woman doesn't reply. She simply reaches for the Yata no Yami Kagami. God damn it. Wait! The moment she grabs the mirror of darkness, the light between the 2 mirrors dims. The dimensional tear slowly shrinks as it spins. The mysterious woman disappears into the tear, along with the Yata no Yami Kagami. But wait! I instinctively call out to her. Who are you? What are you planning to do with the mirror? Say something. Okay, what's the Rika choice here? Because I think I still need one more Rika choice to get the ending without having to spend jewels. I feel like it's one of these two. Because these are... I'm gonna do the Who Are You, because I'm mildly curious. But this could be the Akari choice too. I don't know, for story purposes I'm gonna go with this one. Because I just want to see if we get a response. Who are you? Where did you come from? Answer me. That is none of your concern. It was an electronic voice, as if she were using a voice changer to hide her age. Farewell. With the distorted voice, she leaves us with those words as she is pulled into the dimensional vortex. Vortex. Before long, the fissure in time completely disappears and the Yata no Kagami's light fades. After losing his power, the mirror falls to the ground with a clank. Ah! The family treasure! Hotaru rushes over to the mirror in a panic, then picks it up with both hands. After wiping the dust off and observing it for a while, she eventually sighs in relief. OMG, thank goodness it's not damaged. Congratulations. Omedetou! Yeah, but the Yata Yonyami Kagami is gone now. Like, what in the world did we just witness? Beats me. Hotaru, make sure you take good care of that mirror from now on. I will. Wouldn't want the world to be destroyed because of it. But, like, I legit can't believe my family treasure possessed such power. I mean, it just looks like a grody old mirror, you know? Hotaru knits her eyebrows while she lightly smacks the mirror. Hotaru, what are you trying to do? Kill us? But now that the mirror of darkness is gone, I don't sense the powerful force flowing from the Yata no Kagami anymore. That's when I suddenly hear a heart-rending cry from behind. Mr. Swan! I turn around to find Akari frantically holding Mr. Swan's body in her arms. That was the okay choice. Well, I think I still hit it, so it should be fine. Mr. Swan! It appears this is as far as I can go. The necklace! Her necklace turns into sand, only to be blown away by the wind. Okay, Koropokor. I don't think I actually... Did I do a voice for Koropokor in the last one? I think I did. She's like a little tiny... She's a little tiny mouse, so it's gonna have to be another kind of high-pitched, kind of squeaky voice. Let me see if I can even get up there. Princess, don't go, you can't. Yeah, don't know if I like that voice. Koropokor latches onto Mr. Swan's chest while desperately picking up the grains of sand. It'll be okay, there's still fragments for the necklace left. Sand then drips out of the corners of Koropokor's hands. Why? I'm even using my powers, so why? Why won't it stop? I won't allow it! The princess still needs to find happiness! Why won't it stop? Do not worry about the necklace. I've never seen Mistress Swan happier than she is right now, rubbing Kuropakor's head. Kuropakor, you did very well. I am truly grateful to have a loyal retainer such as you. From now on, you are free to go wherever you want. You can leave these lands as well if you so wish. From now on, live for yourself and find happiness. Mistress Swan! Kuropakor buries her tear-streaked face in Mistress Swan's chest. After gently rubbing Kuropakor's head once more, she looks at me. Kamui Rakor. No. Successor of the Kamui, I apologize for trying to make you into Kamui Rakor. She finally realizes that that wasn't him the whole time. You knew I wasn't him? I am not so simple-minded to mistake someone else for my husband. A sorrowful smile appears. But I wanted to dream just one last time before I disappeared for good. I wanted to dream that Kamui Rakor came back to me. Mr. Swan. What is your name? Mitsuke Araya. I see. A fine name. Is it? Going back to the first video, I just randomly came up with it, so... I just bullshitted it. Okay. But it looks like it's a good name, apparently. Whatever. So, Mitsuke, I had a really good last dream thanks to you. Her gentle fingers trace my cheek. You really do look like him, though. My love. Her hand limply drops. The necklace comes undone and begins sliding toward the ground. That's when I... Ooh. Okay, so here's the premium story. Alright. We can finally buy 8 and 9. God damn. Ridiculous. Fucking hell. Alright. It's worth it, though. Yes. Ooh. Oh, is that her right there? Huh. Isn't that nice? Okay. In retrospect, I have no idea why I did it. Maybe it was Kamui Rakor's blood running in my veins that reacted to Mr. Swan's tears. At any rate, I did something very unlike me, and I tightly held her in my arms. Mr. Swan! Tightly embracing her, I sob as I say, "Thank you. I'm so glad I met you." She gives a troubled, almost indescribable smile. You spent most of the time trying to run away from me, yet in the end... Everything about you reminds me of Kamui Rakor. And just like him, you realize what's important only after it's too late. I'm sorry. However, I can forgive you for that, for I am a loving goddess after all. Please, remember me. I will. There's no way I could forget you. We shall see about that. You are that liar Kamuyara Court's descendant, after all. She has to get one last insult in there before passing on. I'm kidding. She smirks mischievously, but her body is almost completely lifeless. Goodbye, Mitsuge. A light briefly flashes over her chest. I hear her voice coming from the radiant light. While still no match for my husband, you are quite a man. Her presence vanishes. Oh. Then Rika just wakes up. Then Rika opens her eyes. Huh? Mitsuge, you're holding me. Why? Ah! Is that you, Rika? Yeah. Where's Mr. Swan? She tilts her head to the side, confused. She's gone. Oh. Mr. Swan, thank you. Damn, that's pretty good. Yeah. A white dot falls from the sky and lands on Rika's nose. Ooh, snow. Snow. The fresh snowfall quietly covers the cherry blossoms. The snow dances in the occasional breeze like a blizzard of falling cherry blossoms. So beautiful. Rika catches a snowflake in the palm of her hand. Her warmth slowly melts it. Suddenly there's a click and her necklace comes undone. The snow piles on, burying the necklace. Mr. Swan. What a beautiful gift. What a beautiful gift. I mutter while looking up at the sky. Oh, is the Akari choice? Damn. It is. Akari holds the Izumo around her neck while gazing into the night sky. Goodbye, Mr. Swan. Good. During our exchange, the Yatagarasu man hanging from the tree branch falls to the ground. Damn it, way to ruin the mood, asshole. I reach for his mask and peel it off without a second thought. That's what this asshole looks like? What? Wow. The ski instructor, what a surprise. That doesn't surprise me. I think they kind of hinted at that previously anyway. It's him! Hotaru's eyes open wide as she stares at the man's face. What, you know this guy? Do I know him? He teaches at my school. What? Now that I think about it, he mentioned he knew how to ski, so he would be giving lessons elsewhere. But I never imagined he was doing this. And he even stole the Yata no Kagami from my shrine. Hold on, this guy's seriously a teacher? Then the girls from Y2G8. What the? Okay, Senna. Where are we? Huh? Why are we here? Collapsed nearby, the Y2G8 members lift up their heads. Hey! Glaring at them, I scream, causing them to sit up in unison.
Eek! A man!
Screaming at a woman in the middle of the night? Have you no shame? Are you out of your mind?
I'm scared.
Huh? They're acting weird. Oh, so was he possessing them the whole... like brainwashing them or something? Oh, shit. While I'm standing there dumbfounded by their reactions, they survey the area.
What? Were we just asleep in the hotel? Where are we?
What are these strange clothes? What's going on? I see. Lily, watching everything from a few meters away, places a hand on her chin, then whispers by my ear. Mitsuge, it appears they have no recollection of being Yatagarasu. What? There was something clearly strange going on. It seems the last thing they remember is returning to the hotel after ski practice. Perhaps they were simply being hypnotized by that teacher. That's ridiculous.
Hypnotized? What are you talking about?
Why does my entire body ache?
Huh?
They do seem to be acting odd, though. There is not even a trace of the Yatagarasu assassins who boldly stood before us. The reaction would make sense if they were hypnotized like Lily said, but... Stop playing dumb. Can we really trust you? Can we really trust you?
Mitsuge?
Akari takes my hand as I question their intentions. Akari?
Let's let Hotaru handle this. She'll be able to see the truth.
What? Don't tell me you, want me to use my psychic powers.
Of course I do.
Oh, good idea. She'd probably be able to check whether or not they've been hypnotized.
Hold on, I don't know what you think I can do. Well, my powers can't do everything. We're counting on you, Hotaru. Ah, those trusting eyes are as bright as the sun. Fine, whatever.
Hotaru, you don't have to do it right now. After we go home is fine as well. But they didn't fight like people who were simply hypnotized. They were even able to use Yatagarasu jutsu to boot. So it's more than just hypnotism. It has to be like if they were like some kind of spirit or something possessed them. I don't know. I guess we'll find out later.
What?
Stop staring at us. I'm not. By the way, why are you all wearing costumes? He's like, yeah, about that, oh, it's just cosplay. Okay, what are you supposed to be? Crap, how are we going to explain our ninja garbs? If they really are just normal people who were controlled by the Yatagarasu, then we can't tell them we're ninjas. In the midst of my brainstorming, Hotaru chimes in.
Hey guys, over here. Huh? Hotaru?
Everyone seems to be confused, so you're gonna come with me and let me tell you what happened. Pushing them along from behind, she takes the Y2G8 girls behind the cherry blossom. Cherry blossom! Hey! You better not tell them more than they need to know. Okay, that was the Akari choice again. Whatever. This is a private conversation among Ochato Mizu's students, so mind your own business. Hotaru sticks a hand out, signaling me to not follow them. While her tone may have been harsh, she secretly sends me a smile and winks. Looks like I'm not going to have to worry about a thing.
I know this is going to be so totally hard to believe, but I want you to stay calm and listen.
In the corner, Hotaru begins to explain what happened to the YGG8 members. I'm sure I can count on her. She'll make up a good story. That's when a light from the east sky beams upon us.
So bright. It's already morning. Let's get out of here.
Huh? But wait, what about this guy?
Let's lead out of the Kuzuryu. I'll give him a call after we tie this man up. Oh yeah, we also have to ask him to arrange our trips back home. Alright, I'll make a puppet rope to tie him up in the meantime.
Yamabuki, the old hag, and Lily skillfully hog-tie the unconscious Yatagara's assassin.
And done. Mitsuke, we're leaving. Mind carrying him?
No problem. I face Yamabuki. A few days later, I walk into the school building for the first time in what feels like ages. You know what? I don't think we've actually seen the classroom setting in a while. That's interesting, okay.
Mitsuke, you're finally back!
The moment I place my bag down on my desk, Johnny rushes over to hug me with tears in his eyes. But I beautifully stepped to my side, causing Johnny to ram into my desk head first.
Oof. Mitsuke, that was pure evil. Why'd you dodge me like that, bro?
Because you tried to hug me, you weirdo.
What's wrong with that? Are we not best friends? And it's been forever since we've seen each other.
It's barely been a week. In what world does forever equal a week?
It really felt like a long time without you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. To tell the truth, I kinda missed being here after everything that happened in Hokkaido.
Time to finish that manuscript for my new comic. Don't have long until the deadline after all.
I can hear Yamabuki coming into the classroom soon after me.
We should have taken the day off after everything that happened in Hokkaido. I'm exhausted.
Why are you exhausted? You barely even did anything.
Oof. Johnny, long time no see.
No.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Akari comes over, drawn in by the excitement.
You're in the way. That's my seat. Move.
Rika complains and acts as distant as she always does. Alright, number 10. Last part.
There's so much noise and excitement around you, Master.
Kuropakor pops her head out of Rika's breast pocket.
What in the world is that? A fairy? A pocket monster?
Startled by Johnny's loud voice, Kuropakor dives back into Rika's breast pocket.
Wait, I want to see it more.
No, stop bullying my baby.
Your baby?
Johnny's head mechanically turns in my direction.
Mitsuke, what did you two do in Hokkaido while I was gone? Explain yourself.
A big thing happened while you were gone, Johnny. We got a pocket monster to spice things up.
Seriously?
Yamabuki, stop teasing Johnny. He'll believe anything you tell him. I explained where Kuropakor came from so Johnny didn't have to be left in the dark. After Mr. Swan disappeared, Kuropakor was crushed both heart and soul. And after many twists and turns, she decided to stay by Rika's side.
Mr. Swan? Who's that?
I don't even want to think about how long it's going to take to explain everything to Johnny. Suddenly, the bell rings and the homeroom teacher opens the door to come in.
Everyone in your seats, I'm going to take roll.
Johnny, get in your seat. Homeroom's about to begin.
You better tell me everything that happened later then.
Still visually excited, Johnny returns to his seat while the others leave as well. After sitting back down, I look ahead and accidentally make eye contact with the teacher. His lips sneeringly curl.
It looks like our star students from Mr. Plain are back today.
The class roars with laughter.
Alright, time to take roll.
I feel a little relieved to hear the homeroom teacher's usual angry voice. We made it back to school safe and sound. Godopokor talks to herself inside Rika's breast pocket while listening to the teacher's monotone lecture.
The mission was a success. I'm with Master now. The necklace may be gone, but I will summon the princess back to this world. So until then, please wait for me, princess. You okay, Godopokor? Yes, perfectly fine.
Okay, so Godopokor decided to stick with them. That's interesting. That's another fucking voice I gotta remember to do now. God damn it. Okay.
Welcome to the next episode of Preview Corner with me, Akari. And me, Rika. It looks like that concludes our long Hokkaido adventure. Feels good to be back home. Don't remember half of what happened. Is that okay? Haha, well, you were possessed by Mr. Swan for a while after all. Curious about who took the Mirror of Darkness. Yeah, I wonder who that was. Me. Just kidding. Anyway, we have 3 endings this time as well. Akari, me, and another. A story that takes place after the battle in Hokkaido. Last day in Hokkaido. About the Y2G8, Godopokor, and whatnot. Each ending is packed with content. Make sure to check them all out. Yes, this ends Season 17. The end. See you again next season. Be there. Promise me.
Now time to choose your ending. Alright, so I think we can get Rika's ending. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay, well, we went for Rika, so we're gonna go for Rika. Nope. Alright, so we got that in there, so that's cool. Do this new gacha real quick, I guess. I think I've done this one before. Oh man, more junk. I'm gonna take it just because I could sell that later for more 90 if I need to, but cool. Alright guys, so that is it with Season 17 main ending. So next video we're gonna be going for Rika's ending, so that should be cool. Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty wild story, yeah. Wild season. But I mean, it's not that we haven't seen before. I'm wondering if Hotaru has to be transferring to Mizaki at some point here soon, because it would just make a lot of sense, in my opinion. But I don't know. We'll see as the story progresses. But alright guys, well, I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, you can let me know by leaving a like or telling me in the comments below. Subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright, peace.